Welcome to the show. I'm sitting with the best man in news in Bitcoin, Mr. Nico from Simply Bitcoin. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing amazing because I'm sitting with the best man in Bitcoin for tutorials.
We are at Mining Disrupt.
Yes.
How's it going so far?
Good, bro. We haven't touched tips, so my day isn't yet, the best it can be, but it's going to happen soon.
We'll do it under the table soon. Well, that's demonetized immediately.
Oh, man. But, dude, lots of breaking news this week. I think the headline is GameStop, bro. GameStop.
It's wild. It's wild. Okay, let's lay it out. What's going on?
Well, dude, so apparently GameStop has changed their, company policy for them to be able to buy Bitcoin. And then this is coming on the heels of the GameStop CEO being cited. There's a picture of him and Michael Saylor at Michael Saylor's mansion in Miami Beach. And if you take a look at the two people that the GameStop CEO is following, that's Bitcoin accounts.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, we've memed it into existence. Bitcoiners have memed this into existence, and it makes perfect sense that a meme stock is now a Bitcoin stock.
Yeah, and it's also funny too because it's like this is like essentially it's like a zombie company. Like GameStop was a zombie company. You could have made the case that Metaplanet was a zombie company. And also MicroStrategy. Like MicroStrategy, they were struggling. Michael Saylor has even admitted, he's like, look, like it was either going to be a quick death or a slow death. And then they pivoted to a Bitcoin strategy, and all of a sudden MicroStrategy is like kicking ass. And it seems like GameStop is going to do the same. And if it performs like Metaplanet, bro, I might sell a coin and buy some GameStop because, that's like a 20x, dude.
So, okay, I've got to ask your opinion on this. At what point does this strategy stop having the insane effects that it's currently having on things like Metaplanet and strategy and probably GameStop?
I think that's a really good, because the party eventually ends, and then it ends like catastrophically. So, maybe in like 2 or 3 years, you see Metaplanet go under because they over leverage. Or this is a big or, because we're definitely in uncharted territory. They might have just found a flaw in the fiat system. Like it's a debt-based system, and they're taking advantage of that debt-based system where the cost of capital is like extremely low, especially for large entities, to acquire something that has absolute scarcity. Like it's a no-brainer, and then what breaks first? Is it the debt-based system? Because essentially it's just highlighting how ridiculous that system is, and it's buying something that has absolute scarcity. So it's like, I don't know when that would stop. But I will say this, because I recently had Mauricio from Lenin on the show, and he was he did a breakdown. Like he wrote an article for Forbes, essentially talking about how they're doing this, right? And essentially what he said was that he was like, look, MicroStrategy's latest offering, it wasn't 0%. Like it didn't cost them 0% to raise the money. It cost them close to 10%. So, and then at that point, I wouldn't say you're heading into dangerous territory, but 10% on the money that it's expensive. It's no longer cheap, right? So it is becoming more and more difficult to rinse and repeat the same strategy of being able to raise a lot of funds very cheaply.
Yeah. And I think maybe over time, I don't think there is ever a negative to being able to keep your treasury in Bitcoin, keep your, the fruits of your labor in a money nobody can print. But you also have to be creating value for others. And this is where you can't in perpetuity just take on debt and buy more Bitcoin and then just be okay forever. At some point, the debt is going to be due. And in the long run, eventually Bitcoin, when it becomes ubiquitous, it's kind of like, well, what are you going to borrow?
Exactly. 100%, man.
Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC Sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions. Coinkite has been in the game for years, creating hands down the best and most secure hardware when it comes to securing your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and my daily driver, and it's ideal for newcomers and advanced users alike. The Tap Signer gives you a low-cost, user-friendly option for those just getting started or for convenience when traveling. You can head to coinkite.com and use code BTC Sessions for discounts, or simply scan the QR code on the screen to get started right away.
Been a wild week, definitely with the GameStop news. Other news as well. Hong Kong ETF issuer says China is preparing a shift into Bitcoin and crypto. This is something that we anticipated. Why? The game theory. It's as simple as that. What is the game theory? And it says it in the article itself, and something that we've, tomorrow's Bitcoin news today, right? We're always on top. We're always ahead of the curve when it comes to legacy media. But essentially, the game theory is, China's at a strategic Bitcoin, at a strategic disadvantage if the United States government starts acquiring Bitcoin, and it forces the hand of the Chinese government to say, you know what, like, this Bitcoin thing is great. Now, China has an advantage. They have Hong Kong, which is essentially it was a British colony until the 90s, and then it was given back to the Chinese government, but with the condition that Hong Kong would be able to retain a lot of its autonomy. So essentially, China's taking advantage of its one country, two systems policy, and they're using Hong Kong as a test bed to try to benefit from number go up technology without exposing the rest of their populace in the mainland to freedom go up technology, right? So, this is the game theory playing out. There is some news coming out of Russia as well that they were looking into a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But yeah, I mean, not surprising whatsoever. And we told you so as Bitcoiners, right?
Yeah, I think the interesting part here is the nation states thinking that they can get the freedom go up technology for just the elites and not let it trickle down to the masses. But that's not really how this thing works. And once their populace sees, hey, they're able to get away from, say, the U.S. sanctions or whatever by utilizing Bitcoin in various ways, it's not that far of a mental leap to go, this could work for me too. And so I think, Alex Gladstein had it right when he coined the phrase that Bitcoin is a Trojan horse for freedom. And it's coming. It's through the gates. And it's just people recognizing what it is and taking full advantage.
100%. And I remember he wrote the article, Bitcoin is a Trojan horse for freedom. And in that article, he makes the case that number go up technology and freedom go up technology are inextricably linked. You cannot disconnect the two. And I think Alex is 100% right in that in that statement. So another thing as well is news coming out of South Korea. So essentially, South Korea is saying that they aren't going to launch a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which I feel like is non-news. But the news there is the reasons as to why they didn't want to launch it. And one of the primary reasons was, we don't like what the IMF has to say about it. And I remember back in 2021, when El Salvador first made Bitcoin legal tender, there was so much momentum that I was so confused as to why no other countries followed suit very quickly. And then the IMF showed their cards when they essentially told El Salvador, a sovereign country with a democratically elected leader, what they can and cannot do with their money. And thank God Nayib Bukele stood up, and said, listen, F you guys, we're going to do this anyways. But the story there is the IMF revealed their card. They showed their hands, and they essentially transmitted to the world that, hey, if you have any dealings with the IMF, if you have any outstanding loans with the IMF, we do not want you to buy Bitcoin. There's 94 countries, meaning the majority of the world has some type of dealings with the IMF. So what is the main antagonist or the main blocker for nation state Bitcoin adoption, and why I think it hasn't, exploded worldwide? It's the IMF. Like it's obvious. They said in the press release, they're like, we don't want a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The IMF says it's a bad idea. It's like, why do you care what the IMF has to say? You care what the IMF has to say because they have a fucking loan over you, So
again, they are just, they are leeches on people's productive capabilities. They go in, they're the money mart of the world. They'll go and they'll find the people that are the most down and out and say, hey, we can help you out. Here's a little bit of money, and there's some little conditions in there. Oh, you can't pay it back. Well, we can help you out there. We'll just take all of your resources, and then they're screwed. And if you don't agree, you're on the other side of a bullet. So it's just
literally.
Looking for a simple and secure way to manage your Bitcoin on mobile? AQUA Wallet has you covered. It's user-friendly and puts you in full control of your Bitcoin with secure self-custody. AQUA also supports Lightning and Liquid Network, making fast, cheap Bitcoin payments and asset transfers easier than ever. Plus, it even supports stablecoins, giving you ultimate flexibility. Built on open source code, AQUA is transparent, trustworthy, and perfect for beginner and pros alike. Ready to upgrade your Bitcoin experience? Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen now to download AQUA Wallet today. Securing your Bitcoin doesn't have to be complicated or invasive. With NUNCHUK's HONEYBADGER plan, you get state-of-the-art multisig with built-in inheritance planning and no KYC required. NUNCHUK is trusted by users to secure billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The HONEYBADGER plan offers 204 assisted multisig, guiding you step-by-step on mobile or desktop. It works seamlessly with hardware wallets like TapSigner, ColdCard, Jade, and plenty of others, so you're always in control. Plus, with non-KYC inheritance planning, you can ensure your Bitcoin goes to your loved ones. No private info needed. Take control of your Bitcoin today. Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen to check out the HONEYBADGER plan. DEBIFI is the best and easiest way to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Funds are held in a multi-sig escrow where you hold a key, and the platform allows for excellent hardware like the ColdCard Mark IV and the Q. You have access to flexible conditions, the best rates, and institutional-grade liquidity. If you're looking to make use of your capital, don't sell your Bitcoin, borrow against it. You can head over to DEBIFI.com to check them out, or simply scan the QR code on the screen.
But yeah, that was basically the big news of the week. And of course, Ben and I are mining Disrupt in Fort Lauderdale.
I've got one thing for you that I wanted to talk about. So I'm here. I got the pleasure of speaking with Scott from BitAxe. Did you see the solo block mined on a BitAxe just on the 22nd?
I saw that, but is it real? I mean, statistically, what is the probability of that?
I mean, okay, so I've got, even just in my house, I've got a FutureBit, I've got 3 BitAxes, and a Brains mini miner, and they're all kind of in together. And so it shows you the daily odds of what hitting a block is on the FutureBit there. And so with them all linked together with my own pool, I can see when they're all running, it's like 1 in 600,000. So it's not like, it's comparatively to like a lotto ticket, it's actually pretty good odds, like it's, and then, when you take that out over the course of a full year, I recognize hash rate's going to continue to go up, but we've seen FutureBits and BitAxes and all these like little hobbyist solo miners at home that are hitting blocks like every couple of months here. There's some lucky dude that's like 3 point whatever Bitcoin. It's compelling, and I love seeing that, and that's why I like being here at Mining Disrupt for the first time. Is I feel like what Scott has done with BitAxe is reinvigorated your average pleb to be like, I know the odds are slim, But if we get a lot of people out there, then every once in a while, it's just like that little piece of hope. And so like, if you're out there and you are buying actual regular lottery tickets, fuck that. No, you get rid of that habit. You go, you buy yourself a BitAxe or whatever, a future bit or whatever, or repurpose an old miner as a space heater. And if you need that dopamine hit every morning, you just need, you go, you check and you see if you hit a block. And if you didn't hit it, then you check it the next day. There you go. Bad habit gone. And now you're helping a global monetary network, and you're doing it in a self-sovereign way.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, man. So yeah, this was Simply Sessions for Mining Disrupt, day 1.
Live here. Appreciate you guys. Smash that like button, and make sure you check out the talks from Mining Disrupt, because there's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. And dude, thank you for the beautiful backdrop today, and Opti working the side here. There he is.
Opti's here.
He is present. Anyways, guys, we are out. We're keeping it short and sweet today. Appreciate you all. Smash that like button. We'll see you on the next one. Don't miss Why Are We Bullish? Nathan is hosting this week because, of course, we're out of town, and I'm getting old, and we're heading to New York to have a little bit of a shindig at PubKey. So hit up Why Are We Bullish, 6 p.m. Friday. Nathan's got killer guests on. We'll see you there.